Hello and welcome to this video about the Medeli AKX10 accompaniment keyboard and some drawbacks and flaws I found in the past few weeks. I usually record my videos in German language, but since I want to reach as many people as possible, I try to do it in English again. Please bear with me if it sounds funny or there are some grammatically issues and I'm grammatically not always correct. I typically speak German. Okay, I found some drawbacks and disadvantages other YouTubers have not reported about, and probably it's because I haven't dived into in depth enough. For many, only the sounds and the supplied styles are interesting, and how the keyboard is played and how good are the speakers. And that's totally fine, and I don't want to blame anybody. I even don't want to blame Medeli for the flaws and drawbacks I found, because it's their first own big creation of a really upper class keyboard. It's a low cost keyboard, and upper class for many people are starting with Yamaha Tyros or Korg PAX series. But for the typically Medeli product, this is really an upper class product. And that at the start there are some drawbacks and some issues. I think that's normal. And the thing is, how do they handle with it? And if they fix them, it's okay. I'm fine with it. But I think if you want to buy this and are thinking about buying this, you should know about the drawbacks and flaws there are at this moment inside this keyboard. And this moment means with firmware 1.2.7, we are at October of 2021. So if you're watching to a later time this video, maybe most of the drawbacks and flaws are history and were solved with a new firmware. Okay, let's dive into it. What have I found? I already reported you in another video, link in the description, that there is a problem with the speed and the beats per minute via MIDI clock in. If you send speed or the MIDI clock from another keyboard, the Medeli very often takes one beat less than it should. If you send 120 beats per minute from another keyboard via the MIDI-IN port, the Medeli very often sets itself to 119. Or if you send 90 beats, the Medeli sets itself to 89. So this is drawback number one, and I really hope that this is not a hardware problem and that it can be solved. Medeli has already commented on this and want to fix this in a future firmware update, if it's possible. Okay, next. Not a real flaw, but I think the first thing is a real drawback for people who are beginners. Because if you want to create or edit a style from scratch, you can only do this with a C major 7 chord. I push this style and then I tap on edit. And now I'm in the edit mode and I can say I want to create a new style. It asks me for a time signature, and then there is a note that you must at first create a main A part, and then I'm able to play bass or some chords with grand piano. You can choose the instrument here, but the problem is you can only do this in C major chords, so you have only the notes C, E, G, B, and again C. All other notes aren't here to play. So you must break down any style you want to play into the C major 7 chord. And I know that this is how Yamaha does it on their keyboards. So you have to play styles with a C major 7 chord, which of course should not be very easy, especially for beginners like me. Other manufacturers such as Casio or Korg, on the other hand, can be played with normal codes over the entire keyboard, but that seems to be the case with the design. But I think you should know that this is a potential drawback for you as a buyer, that you must put down any style you like to record. You have to put down to C major 7, so the chord recognition will recognition it correct, and so you can play all chords you want, and the keyboard sets to the right chord then. Okay, that's the style editor. Next problem is the song or sequencer or MIDI editor. So come with me to the song mode, where you can use the sequencer to record your own audio or import from a USB stick MIDI data into the Medeli and of course record your own songs. So here is something I recorded, and now I'm going to edit, and I want to edit it. And now there is a problem after recording or putting your MIDI song into the keyboard. You cannot edit your song with other instruments. You've got a lot of things you can do here, but you are not able to choose any other instrument. For instance, I loaded this song into the Medeli and it plays fine. But I don't like the sounds. So I really want to edit this MIDI song, but I have no option to choose any other instrument. And I think that is a very, very big design flaw in the device. This should definitely be changed with a firmware update, because then the entire function is more or less useless. When I import a MIDI song, I want to be able to choose the best sounds from my keyboard. The pre-programmed instruments are not always the right ones, even if this keyboard has a very good recognition. But that's what I found out so far. You cannot change any instrument in the song mode. If you recorded songs, or even if you put MIDI data into it, you are not able to choose the instrument after recording. Before recording, of course, you can choose the instruments, but after recording, you are not able to choose other instruments because of this editor. You are not able to choose what you want to use. So here are no points where you can choose another instrument. You can only put your parts on or off, and that's it. So this is a design flaw, and this should be fixed by Medeli very, very fast, I think. Next. So let's go back to the style mode and talk about the quick settings. The problem I have is with the quick settings. With quick settings, you can have a complete set of instruments and jump quickly back and forward between them while playing a style. So if I enable quick setting, I get this 4 buttons, and I can choose between 4 settings of instruments while playing my style. And as you hear, the style plays, and you can choose between 4 sets of instruments you can save with the style. And this complete set of style and quick setting is saved into the performance memory, also known as a registration in other brands of keyboards. So you can set 4 quick sets, and Korg users also know this function as keyboard sets. So if you want to save this to your style, you just edit the instruments you like. So I would like to recall one of my one of my registrations, and it's in bank 10. You've got a lot of banks you can really store. You've got 60 banks with each 8 memory places, so you can really store a lot of information. Okay, I want to go to bank 10 and recall my performance memory 8. And here are some cool guitars. And with the quick settings, I got 4 quick performance sets or keyboard sets. But there's one problem with this. Because if I recall my performance memory, you hear there are some effects on the guitars. And there is delay and there is reverb. But if you want to put this into a quick setting, so I want to use not the rock guitar, I want to use the cool lead guitar in some point of the song, and I'm switching to the cool lead guitar in this place, and this should be the clean guitar, okay? Just for the purpose to show you. And you can listen. That sounds boring, so I want to put in the same effects. Delay, much delay, and delay also on the second part. So this row is for the right hand 1 part, this row is for the right hand 2 part, this row for the right hand 3 part, so this is for the left hand part. And I want to put some more reverb also in it. And now it sounds better. And I want to save this to my quick setting number 4. So I made my changes, go to Style, say Edit, and in the top right corner there is this quick setting, and I will be asked where to put my actual settings, and I say I want to put them to quick setting 4, of course. And say OK. And now you can see here are the guitars, and I want to put this on. You can see the LEDs are going on or off, they are lit or not. And you can also make some changes to the volume, panning, and octave. So maybe I want to put this 1 octave higher. So maybe I like to have this, and I want to save this. I'm very sorry I accidentally hit exit, but I want to save this. So I've saved this, and now quick setting number 4 should have this guitars. I'll try quick setting number 4. And here they are, but where are my effects? And that is a real problem. I think it's a failure in the firmware. I think there is a problem with it. My effects aren't stored and they are set back. It would not be a problem if the effects stay what I changed in my registration. If I recall my registration, you can see there are delays. But if I recall my quick setting with also got delay and reverb, they are set to 0, and that is a real problem. I think this is a disadvantage, and it makes the quick setting currently unusable. And I think, and then I hope, I mailed to Medeli, they responded very nicely, that they really fix this in the next firmware update, because I really often use quick settings, and it's a real drawback if the quick setting resets your entire effect section. So that's all I have today for you. These are really some flaws, and some of them are by design, like the C major 7 chord. But I think the other things should be fixed with next firmware updates. But again, I don't want to blame any YouTuber that hasn't told about this, and I also don't want to blame Medeli, because they're really nice. They are answering my questions and mails very, very fast, and they are saying that they will discuss the things I told them and that they want to put them in the next firmware updates. So I really hope that with the next 2 or 3 updates, everything should be fine and full usable as you expected from an upper class keyboard. Because it's a really nice and fine instrument in my opinion. The price is okay, the sounds are okay, and the speakers are really, 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 really good. So that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And have a good time, have fun playing your instruments, and see you next time.